Well, guys, it's going to get down to about 27 tonight, so rather than let my Brussels sprouts freeze, because it's going to be freezing for the next 2 nights, I'm going to cover them up again. I kept them alive this long, so I'm not going to let them freeze now. And I just put this blanket on there as an insulation. Gives it a little bit of insulation with the tarps on the top. I may just need one of them this time. Well, get my cord all tangled up. Oh, I just dropped it. Yeah, I think it'll just need one tarp this time. one will do it this time. We can probably use the pad for something else. And now I got to get my cardboard out of the shed. It's already freezing cold out here. Whew. Greens covered up. These little box tops are just a thing. Fit right over the bucket. Try to remember where it all goes. Sorry, I didn't turn the camera around. Pieces that went on that. My hair looks wild. I'm just saying I covered my leaks up with. got something in my eyes. Sorry about that. I forget the camera's not with me. I almost think I'm going to try to cover those buckets with that tarp. Since I've got one tarp left, rather than try to put individual pieces of cardboard on each one. This already had the tarp. And I'm not really liking the way I got that covered, but I need to turn it this way. There, that might work better than the cardboard. A whole lot easier to put on there. There, now let's go see if we can find the rest of the covers. Need the cardboard there, and I've already got these couple of ones covered up. I don't think that's going anywhere. Let's see what we can do with this one. Oops. I left my bag out here. I figured I was going to need it again. I'll have to leave them covered tonight and tomorrow night. And then I can uncover them, and then possibly I'll have to recover them one day next week because it's supposed to get down below freezing. I mean, some of these plants may be all right, but I've babied him so much that I'm not going to take any chances with them. I need to find a rock or something to go on the top of that. See where we can find one. A little one. Use that one. I can always put it back later. I don't think that one will go anywhere because it's kind of wedged down in the pot. So, see, I need some stuff for those two, and I don't know if that pot will go over that thing or not. It might. I bought a new pot, but I don't know. I'm wondering if this bucket will fit on it upside down. Go try it and see. If it will, that'll keep me from having to squish down the plants and put cardboard flat down on it. I don't know if the bucket's big enough. I don't think it is. Oh. To get all the plants under it, it would be. Well, maybe. It might be barely big enough. Well, they're under there. Put that on top. Now we've got to get something for this one, because there's two plants, and I think the cardboard will go great on that. Oh, I thought this was a good idea to put my hat on over my hair. And my hair looks crazy. The wind's blowing it. I'm trying not to turn the camera too bad. Man, I can't handle this hair. It's going to have to go up somehow. But yeah, this cardboard will be fine on this one because it's not sticking that far above the ground. The plants aren't. Yeah, I got to do something with this hair. I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. Oh. Let me get my hair up. We'll get out here and finish. Looked like some kind of wild woman, the way that hair was sticking out. Funny. But like I said, you'll never... Don't be too surprised at what you see on my channel. There. That'll work better. At least my hair is not going crazy. Let's see what else I need to cover. I think the kale is fine, even though there's a gap there. I think that little bit of coverage that it has is going to be good. Hopefully. Put that on there to keep that from blowing away. But yeah, I think that'll be okay, because that's the way I covered it last time. It just needed a little bit of protection, because kale is a cold weather crop. And I didn't need to, but I went ahead and put my clear tote in the greenhouse here. And that was just so I didn't have to have it out in the yard. But, I mean, you can definitely leave it out uncovered, or just, you know, as long as you've got the lid fastened on it with your seedlings, or not seedlings because they haven't sprouted yet. As long as you got it covered and the lid can't come off, you can leave it out. I just did that because I had space in there rather than set it inside the house. Because I don't know why, I just didn't want it rained on. But it would not have hurt it if it had. So that was just my preference. I don't know of anything else that needs to be covered. I think everything was... And see let's switch this. My mint that I put in that pot is coming back to life. And it will. Mint will take a lot of abuse and still keep coming back. But at least I've got it now so it can't take over the ground. I don't think there was anything anywhere else that I needed to worry about. Because I got to clean up these dish pans, and I'm going to be planting stuff in them. And I know you can plant, what is it, carrots and stuff right now, but I'm going to wait. And I don't know if it'll do any good to cover those up, but I covered up them the last time, so I'll cover them up this time. Oh, Lordy. I don't know what I got here to cover up that other one. There's only 2 plants in it. They may not make it, but like I said, I covered them up last time, so why not this time? Because there's 3 in there that popped up out of the ground. So we'll at least give them a chance. Oh, my nose is running. It's so cold out here. I need a little bit heavier rock. Yeah. This one will work. It might be even too heavy, but it'll work. It'll keep the cardboard from flying away. And I don't drink beer, but I always end up with the wind blowing people's garbage in my yard. And see, I left my spigot cover because I knew the freezes weren't over. And I didn't want anything else to freeze, so And I can use all this cardboard in my compost, or cover up the ground when I put more wood chips down over there, like we did before. In fact, I need to get more cardboard, because I almost ran out of cardboard and newspaper. I've been saving more, but I waited and let them get a little bit more sun today before I covered them up. But I didn't want to wait till the temperature started dropping around 4 or 5 o'clock to come out here and do this, because it's cold enough out here already. Whew. And I think I needed to put water in my greenhouse on some of this stuff. Just checking everything. Let you see it. And my potatoes is looking real good in here. They like it in the greenhouse. My little collard tree is starting to grow a little bit. I'm hoping the other one down in there, I think it started rooting. I'm not sure, but I think it has. Let's check it. Because it looks like the leaves are living. They're not all dying. See that one right there? That's on that one. I'm hoping it's rooted. If it does, then I can take it out and put it in its own bucket. And then I'll have my 2 tree collards back. And there's my onions. I got some onions growing right there. They had just started coming up when I put them in here. And there's my greenhouse. See, it started to get condensation inside it since it's been in here. But it'll do the same thing if you leave it sitting out in the sun. And that's what I'm going to do as soon as these cold nights are over with. I'm going to take it out and put it right out here in the bright sun, because it'll do better right out in the sun. And like I said, you don't have to put it in a greenhouse. It's already a greenhouse of its own. You can just sit it out in the yard and leave it, as long as you keep the lid fastened on. And my rose bushes are doing good back there. My big aloe vera is still alive. It don't look too good because the outer leaves had died off on it, and I need to trim it up some more. But I'm not going to trim it up anymore until the cold is over and I move it outside for good for the summer. But those rose bushes down there are doing good. You know, those are the ones that I had to redo, because some of them didn't make it. So I moved all the cups over here that didn't make it out of the other one, the other tub, and I put new cuttings in it, and they seem to be doing okay. And I do have a Black Beauty eggplant started right there, that square cup. And I've got a basil in this other one back here. I just found enough room to be able to stick those right in there, so that's what I did. And I've got more cups in the house that I'm going to start some more tomato seed in. I've got a different type of tomato seed. I'm going to start those, and I'm going to just sit them out here in this greenhouse. So they're under the protection of the plastic. So and that's probably what I need to do. I need to put holes in the bottom of them, and because I saved 2 plastic, like a mayonnaise plastic jar, you know, like the quart jar. I saved that this morning, and I cut the top out of it to turn it into a pot. But I need to put holes in the bottom. So I can go ahead and put potting mix in it and plant my seed in it. And I wanted to put another eggplant pot out here with seed in it. So that's what I'm doing today. In fact, that's probably what I need to go do, is go warm up my hot glue gun. Put holes in the bottom of those 2 cups. And I've only got 1 carrot seed coming up in there. No, that's cilantro that I got planted in there. But it hasn't come up yet. In fact, some of the seeds are right there above the dirt. Poke them under the dirt a little bit. Because like I said, I wanted to get a jump start on my cilantro this year. And if it was little plants, I would cover it. But since it's not, I'm going to leave it just like this. Now, once I see that it started sprouting, if it gets cold or down to freezing, then I'm going to cover it up. But there's that insulin plant. See how I told you it would come up from the root? It's starting me a whole new plant right there. And my Mother of Millions is looking good. It's already been putting out seeds up here at the top and on the bottom that have been falling off inside the pot. Because see there, I got a little baby started right there. In fact, 2 babies. Got 2 baby seeds started right there. It'll produce another plant. Only thing is, you know, you got to do that. You got to baby it. You got to bring it in when it's cold weather. It will not withstand the cold temperatures. Whew. Cold out there. I don't think it's got over 46 degrees today. In just a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about, what I did. See there, this is the mayonnaise jar that I just cut the top out of, and I left about 4 to 5 inches deep. And this was a plastic coffee jar, the instant coffee. So I cut most of the top out of it and left about 5 inches. So it's about 5 inches deep. I just need to put holes in the bottom. And then I'll need to go out there and I'll have to go out there and put soil in there. I should have done this already, but I didn't, so. And they need to come in a minute out of that cold air, too, because that wind is blowing hard, and it makes the cold air seem like it's even colder when it does that. I should have plugged my hot glue gun up earlier, but I didn't, so. Oh, I got a napkin, a Kleenex. I hate it when you go outside and it makes your nose start running. And what I need to do is get me a couple of these stakes that I'm going to use. I think one of them I'm going to start some lettuce maybe. And one I'll start the tomatoes in. Or I may just put tomatoes in both of them, I don't know. But I need to start some lettuce. And it's best to start your lettuce indoors. And this is a new tomato that I just got this year. I haven't grown these before. It's a Tiny Tim. And that shows it backwards, I know. Show it this way. It's a Tiny Tim dwarf tomato. The tomatoes only get to be about 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter when they're full grown. And the plant only gets about, I think, 12 to 14 inches tall. So what I think I'm going to do is plant those along the in the cinder blocks under the arbor where I had all those tomato plants, not tomato plants, but pepper plants. Because pepper plants do better right out in the hot sun. So Tiny Tim is what they're called. Tiny Tims. Oh, I put Mountain Dew in there. That's so good. I started to just try to cut a hole. You know what? I might just do that. Try to cut a hole in the bottom. I was afraid I'd split the whole bottom. But anyway, I'll make a hole in there. It's fine with me as long as it doesn't ruin the bottom of it. Because that is some hard plastic on these containers. I found that out one time before when I tried to melt a hole in it. It didn't work. I mean, it took forever. So if I can get a decent hole in here with this knife, that's what I'm going to do. But if you try this at home, just be careful. Just make sure the knife is pointed away from you, not towards your fingers or anything. Because one slip of that knife and that blade, you could do some damage to your hand or your fingers. And I definitely don't want to be responsible for that. Goodness. See how tough it is? It's some tough plastic, I'll tell you. But you can work it back and forth and get it cut through. Yeah, I'll get this hole cut through even though it's hard before my glue gun ever gets hot. Whew. See there? Perfect square hole. Just be careful if you do that. I don't know how easy or hard this one's going to be. We'll find out, I guess. Not as easy because the bottom is hard, but yet the top of it is kind of flimsy. Let's see if I can put something under it, maybe. I don't know what it would be. I had something to fit in there. To keep it from tilting over, that might work. No, don't think I want to do that. It's not big enough. Oh, let's see. That jar works better because I don't have to worry about the thing. I don't know, I may have to wait and just melt this one. I'm afraid I'm going to cause more damage than it's worth. Whew. Ooh, almost burnt my finger. I think this one will be fairly easy to melt through. It's already going through there a little bit. A little bit of water that's on the bottom of it is just sizzling. And I can kind of make my own greenhouse with this. If you got a 2-liter bottle that you've cut to use as a dome over a cutting, you can put that over each individual pot and kind of give it some protection from the cold. Kind of make it into its own greenhouse. See, these are kind of hard to melt through. Just hold it there for a while and let it get hot. It's going to be stubborn. I wonder. They make these bottoms pretty strong. Well, it just ain't going nowhere. Well, it got it hot enough and soft enough that I was able to get the knife through there anyway. Melt it some more. Maybe with that slit cut in there, it'll go right through it easier. Yep, it did. So there's an idea for you. If it won't go through on its own with just the hot glue gun, wait till you get it good and hot. And then take your knife and cut it. Do another one over here. You heard the old saying, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. Maybe getting hot enough now. I don't know that it might go through on its own, or maybe not. But it definitely goes through when you warm it up. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so windy today, but that's okay. We got our stuff covered up anyway. The holes are kind of little, so I'm going to put about 4 of them, 4 or 5 around the bottom. Because see, the way it's divided, and the holes are small, so I'm going to put, what, 1, 2, 4 more of them in there. 3 more. And I kind of like the way this one is raised up. The bottom of it is, and I put the hole in the center. So that means there's a bubble in the center that raises up. So it'll hold just a tiny bit of water around the outside of where that hole is. It might keep it from drying out so fast. But like I said, there's a lot of different things you can use as containers to plant seeds in. I've got some things planted in tin cans that vegetables came in. I've got some in that cheese container. I've got one in a real small, it's only about that tall, peanut can. Actually, it's made out of cardboard, but it's lined with that aluminum inside. So it'll hold up till the seedling gets big enough to plant out somewhere else. Well, I don't know what the deal is with this. I put a cut in it. Now it went through. After getting that wax all over my knife. I think I got some more that I saved under the sink there. I'll have to look in just a sec. Yeah, it's a lot easier to cut that knife through there when you heat it up a little bit with the glue gun. And then you can get the glue gun right through there. Now, I got 5 holes in the bottom for drainage. Let me look and see what I got down here. Oh, that was my cheese cup that I put holes in. I put 3 slits in the bottom for drainage, and I'm going to plant seeds in that. So that gives me 3 containers. And then, like I said, if you've got your 2-liter drink bottles or bigger, with these little containers, you can just fit those right down over it when you plant your seed in there. And I've only got 1 right now. So, and even that coffee thing, as big around as it is, it'll fit right over it. I mean, look at that. It's just barely big enough that it just goes right over the top. So you can make your own little greenhouse for your seedlings to start in. So that's another idea. You don't have to buy the tote if you got a protected area like a porch or somewhere that you can put that it's going to get sun. I might go ahead and put a hole right in the center of this one. See, if it's something thin, it goes through there pretty easy. So that gives me four holes. It gives me the slits at the edge that I cut with the scissors and the hole in the center. And that's about the size of the cup, those red cups that I planted a lot of stuff in. And that's just that ricotta cheese cup. But it'll work. It most definitely will work. And I think that one hole there is going to be plenty big enough. I don't think I need to put more holes in that. I think that one, well, it may not hurt, but I don't know if I'll be able to put any more in it, to tell you the truth. We'll see about how fast it'll go through there. I really think the one hole is enough. So that's 3 pots. And like I said, I think I'm going to plant all 3 of these with my little tomatoes. Get them started. Because if I put 2 or 3 seeds in each one, I might get 3 plants in each cup. That'll give me about 9 plants to get started with. Hopefully. And I've had ordered one little package of seed with some credit that I had on Amazon. And they're going to be a smaller tomato too. Similar to the Tiny Tim, but it's not a Tiny Tim, it's another name. So I'm going to try those and see what happens with those. And see, I took the bottom of the 2-liter pan or bottle, and I'm making like a drain pan, a drip pan out of it. Just to set my pot right in. That way when I water it, some of the excess water won't just drip down onto everything else below it. I mean, you can even put the cup in there. I mean, it's not, well, yeah, it is big enough for that too. And that one is big enough for this one to go in. And I think that was the bottom, yeah, that was the bottom off of the clear one. But see, that'll sit down in there if I want it to. Or I can use these small drip pans that you buy at the store. You can get them for like, I don't know, 90 cents for each one. And see, that'll work. Can put that in there. Well, I put the big one in that one. And then I can just put the greenhouse top right over the top of it. And you got it. It's good to go. And if I'd left that one a little bit longer, I could have made a cover with that. But I didn't leave it tall enough, so I'm just going to use it as a pot. But see, there's different ideas that you can do. I mean, I've got 2 drip pots for these. And then as soon as I can get, I've got one sun drop bottle that I'm emptying now because I bought it at the store yesterday. So when it's empty, I'm going to cut another bottle bottom off like that. And I'm going to use it as my cover for one of these right here. I don't think I've got any more. Well, yeah, I do. I got one more bottle down here. So I'll have enough once I get and you can see that this one here is a little bit bigger than the Sundrop bottle. Well, not Sundrop, but the Mountain Dew bottle. It's a little bit fatter, big around. And that came from the Dollar Tree. I bought one of their Dollar Tree Cokes in that big bottle. But see, I've got my drip pan underneath, and that was just the bottom out of the Sundrop bottle. Or not Sundrop, the Mountain Dew. We always have Sundrop where I'm from, and I always drank the Sundrop. Out here, since Walmart doesn't get Sundrops anymore, I drink Mountain Dew, because Sundrop and Mountain Dew is basically the same type of drink. Get my scissors. I have like a utility scissor that I use to cut some of this stuff up. I use it to cut chicken or meat up. Or I use it to cut stuff like this. Because it's a heavy duty scissor. I got this when I was selling Cutco. I did knife demonstrations and sold sets of Cutco knives that sold for about $800 a set. And of course I had to buy my demo kit when I worked for them. So that's how I got my scissors. And I've still got some knives from it. There. That one. That one will work over here because it'll fit down inside that one, where it won't quite go down in this one. But I've got 2 more of these trays. So I can put that in there. And when my other bottle gets empty, I can do right there. And that'll make my dome over that pot, that clear pot. And you'll be able to see it better when I go out there and put my dirt in it and get it planted. But I do need to fix me another steak marker. Oh, that wind is not helping my allergies because it's blowing up. It blows up all the stuff in the air that I'm allergic to that I'm breathing out there. There, I got my steaks, my cups, my drain trays, let's see if I can get all this carried out there. I'm going to flip the screen back this way, because this is going to be trying to hold my camera in an armful of stuff, and I'm dropping it already. And if you have milk jugs, you can cut them. I'll show you. I've got a plastic container of milk in the refrigerator now, but I just bought it yesterday, so I can't take it out and cut it. But there's a way that you can cut those. And I'll lock my shed back. See if I can find the key. But there's a way you can cut that you'll have a lid, a dome that comes down over the top, because you'll cut it about halfway, not quite halfway, up the bottle. You don't cut it all the way though. You leave a couple of inches that you don't cut, like as a hinge at the back of it. And oh, I gotta get the stuff out of my hands. But I'm gonna bring you in here, and I just dropped my markers. All of them, every one of them I dropped. Let's see if I can get that put in my pocket with the seeds. Because when I come in here and fill up our pots, get the legs on this camera fixed, the tripod. And I'm just gonna dip each one right down in my potting soil bag and fill it up with potting soil. And I didn't put my gloves on, so I'm just gonna use my fingers with this. I pack it down a little bit. And I'm using my, actually using my plastic of the bag to do that, because I don't have gloves on. But then we're going to take it out here, and we're actually going to wet these down. I'll have to come back after the camera. Close my potting bag up. I don't like it dripping wet, but I don't like for it to dry out either completely. And I'm probably going to make y'all sick. I keep flipping this thing around so much. But I got to get the bottles. So we can take them around here. You know what? I'm going to take these over here, because over here is where I'm going to be using them. Just lay them on the ground. And what we're going to do, is take some of our compost tea, because it's not really that strong yet. I mean, it's strong enough. It's been sitting there all summer or all winter. But since I don't have it in a big tote, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I have it watered good. Look kind of messy, but that's okay. And now I'm going to take my Tiny Tim seed and I'm trying not to put too many in one pot. Now, I guess I tried to open it at the wrong end. I didn't want to tear the name of the tomato off. And I just opened it on the side. And I'm just going to put a few tomato seeds in my hand. And hopefully the wind don't blow them away. Because you've seen tomato seeds before. They're not very big. See them? And I definitely don't want that wind blowing them away on me. But I'm just going to put a little indention. 3 little indentions around in there. In each one. And I'm just going to try to put a seed in each one. And you can do it. It's a little difficult, but you can do that. And if 2 goes in one hole, that's not that big a deal. Like I said, you can always take them out later to transplant them. Or if you get too many coming up in there, you can pull some of them out. And then I'm just going to lightly cover them up. Go ahead and put one in the middle of this pot since it's so big. And I got 3 left in my hand. See if I can put them back in the little envelope. Because you only get about 25 seeds in these packages. So you don't want to waste any of your seed if you can help it. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it. And I just dropped them. Oh well. Live and learn. I just dropped my seed. There was 3 seeds. Well, maybe they'll come up voluntarily later. You never know. Now I need to bring it over here, show you what I'm doing in here. I need a bigger greenhouse, looks like it, because I'm cramped in this one. Terribly cramped. See if I can find some place to put my camera. But I'm going to put them over here on this side. And I don't know, that might not set too good right there. You know what? I'm going to take that little dish. I think I'm going to use it. I know what it is. It's not flat up here. And it didn't want to sit flat. But and I'm about to forget to put my markers in there, and I better do that, because if I don't do that, I'll forget what I've got planted in there. Guess I can move that one over there. Give these a little bit more room here. And what I'm going to do is put just a little bit of water in the very bottom. In the tray. That'll help keep that moist to where hopefully my seeds will come up. And like I said, as soon as I get that other bottle emptied, I'll put it over the cheese cup that I've got the seeds in. And see, I've got plenty more of the cups that I've saved over the years that I could have used. But I wanted to show you your options. That if you don't have those cups, you don't have to buy more cups. Use what you got at home. Save your drink bottles. Save your milk cartons. You can use a milk carton to plant anything in. And see, I've got that Chinese cabbage right there. I can't tell if I'm showing it to you because I can't see over there. Here, let me flip it. I've got 3 or 4 Chinese cabbage plants right there that have survived being in here. So I hope they survive these last few cool spells. So I can plant them outside. But see, in every one of these with the domes on them, I've got some kind of tray under the bottom. And that's to try to keep some water in it to where it'll stay moist. so the pots don't dry out. I mean, you don't want it just sogged in water, but if you keep a little bit down in your tray, it'll keep your pot from drying out. And look at that. That'll work better for this little square pot because it sits better in that. So I'll probably use it for that little square pot. And I got more other pots that I could probably use these trays for, because I've got a couple more. Well, what did I just do with the ones I had? I thought I brought two out here. I guess I just brought the one. But you can see my miniature greenhouse is starting to condensate. So it'll get the top of those plants wet. And I'm keeping a little bit of water in the bottom to where they don't dry out. So hopefully by the time spring rolls around, I'll have some tomato plants and some stuff to plant out in the garden instead of just seeds. So we'll see how this goes. And if this works pretty good, then I'm going to start a lot more seeds this way, rather than sowing them directly in the ground. Now, some things I am going to sow directly in the ground, because I always do, but not everything. Get that squared away for tonight. Then all I'll have to do is turn the light on. And I can do that from the back patio. Yeah, my little zipper thing broke on here, so I have to pull it down with my fingers, and it doesn't cooperate all the time. Here, let me put that over here so I can get over there and do something. I've got to measure the greenhouse, and for next winter I got to buy a new plastic cover for it. Because this is the last summer the last winter and summer that I'm going to be able to use this one. It's just taped up and patched up. So I'm going to have to replace it. I was telling a friend of mine, I said, the price of eggs, I said, and it depends on the price of the plastic. If I can't buy the plastic cover cheaper than I can buy another little greenhouse like that, because it's just one of the small ones, what I'm going to do is buy another greenhouse. And I might use the frame of this one for a chicken coop or something like that. Because I could get a couple of chickens in there and get some chicken wire or rabbit wire and go up the sides and the back and all over it, covered up. Put the tarp back over it so they'll have some protection. Put me a perch or something in there. And I could fix a little chicken house out of it, I think. I'd have to fix some kind of a doorway. But I guess that would be easy enough to do. I could probably frame up some kind of doorway here and make the door itself out of some wood and some of the chicken wire. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into chickens, but I said it's tempting with the price of eggs, I tell you. Well, I guess that's about all I had to show you today. I wanted to show you that I was going to cover my stuff back up, because I've put too much time and effort in them so far to let them freeze these last couple of freezes we're going to have. And I said I've covered them up till this point, so I wanted to cover them up this time too and keep them safe. So Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be actually a good size for a little chicken house. I wouldn't want to leave it there, I don't think. Maybe put it over behind the other shed. Put my new greenhouse there. Or put the new cover over that one and then set up the other one over on the other side. But I was looking at them one time, and just the plastic cover, the replacement cover, they want as much for that as they want for the whole greenhouse. So I said, if I've got to buy a whole new greenhouse just to get the plastic, I will, and just set up the frame and use the frame for something else. So, with that, I think I am going to wish you a good day. Have a blessed day, y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And I will catch you on my next video. Bye now.